Namaskar. I am Dr. Naumita Dhume, heading the Department of Biomedical Sciences, Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Mumbai. On behalf of my team and college, I warmly welcome the speaker, Dr. Girish Tillu, participants from various states of India as well as from abroad for the webinar AYUSH for COVID-19, boosting immunity with home-based interventions. Guru Nanak Khalsa India was established in 1957 and was a brainchild of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It is one of the oldest educational institutions, be accredited with A grade by NAC and CGPA of 3.54. Autonomous status was conferred by UGC in 2018. It was recognized as College of Potential for Excellence by UGC in 2016 and has received the Best College Award by University of Mumbai in 2012. This is the only college in Mumbai to have the zero status by DST Government of India. Our college is offering 23 undergraduate courses, 24 postgraduate courses, and 8 PhD programs. There are 34 PhD guides and rupees 3 crore worth of research grant. Under the able guidance of Dr. Atisani, the state-of-art facility, Guru Nanak Institute for Research and Development, and the Department of MSc Bioanalytical Sciences was established. The main objective of the course has been to bridge the gap between industry and academics by generating trained or ready-made students. At Khalsa, we are achieving this by providing hands-on intensive training on sophisticated instruments and organizing relevant lectures by eminent experts from different pharma industries and research institutions of repute. I would like to correlate today's webinar with 3 frequently used proverbs. The first proverb is health is wealth. COVID-19 infects anybody and everybody, irrespective of age, gender, status, etc. It has taught us not to take our health for granted. The second proverb is old is gold. In most Indian homes, it has been a practice to treat any type of ailment with herbs and spices at home. They were probably known as grandma's nuskhe. They range from balguti to varieties of kadha. The current scenario has again seen a revival of the use of these herbs. The third proverb is prevention is better than cure. This has been very apt for Atmanirbharta Bharat that was mentioned by our Honorable Prime Minister. There is no vaccine or cure for COVID-19 till date, and with lockdown getting lifted slowly, the time has come for us to accept and live and manage life with COVID-19. There is no better Suraksha Kavach than our own immunity. To ensure that we are constantly healthy with a robust immunity, the role of Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and Homeopathy, AYUSH, is pivotal. The systems of medicine are time tested and well researched for boosting immunity. These systems emphasize on right exercise, lifestyle, right diet, right mindset, which is going to be discussed in today's webinar. I'm extremely honored to introduce our speaker, Dr. Girish Tillu. Before I begin to introduce him, I would like to profusely thank Dr. Manoj Bhatt, Director of NCCS, to have suggested and shared Dr. Girish Tillu's phone number. It wouldn't have been possible to organize this webinar without the timely help of Dr. Manoj Bhatt. I also appreciate Dr. Girish Tillu's immediate consent in spite of having a busy schedule. Dr. Girish Tillu, who has MD in Ayurveda and PhD in Health Sciences, is currently working as Assistant Professor in Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, Savitribai Phule Pune University. He has 16 years of research experience in interdisciplinary environment. He has coordinated and executed multinational drug development research activities for degenerative and autoimmune disease. His research has included development of diagnostic technology, health awareness, software and mobile technology based on health informatics. He has 12 years of clinical experience. He has coordinated and participated in government activities for research methodology and AYUSH informatics. This portrays that Dr. Girish Tillu is very unique researcher where there is a smooth blending of traditional systems with modern technology. Other important achievements are that he has published one book and five book chapters. He has filed four patents, authored 30 research papers of national and international repute. His total citation on Google Scholar is over 500 with H index of 12. He is the editor of Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine, which is a peer-reviewed journal. Thank you all for giving me an opportunity to introduce Sir. And now I request Ketki to go ahead with few instructions to the participants.
Welcome, dear participants. We expect you all to kindly follow certain instructions throughout the webinar. The first and the foremost thing is that you are required to maintain the decorum of the webinar. Avoid posting irrelevant comments or greetings. All registered participants, please note that you will be receiving the feedback link in the description and in the chat box at the end of the webinar, which is to be duly filled for availing the certificate. Thank you. Now I request Dr. Tillu to take over.
Is it visible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible. Yes.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And we are going to discuss many things this evening. Thank you very much for joining this session organized by Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Samiti's Khalsa College, Mumbai, which is one of the reputed institutions of India. Let us start from a blank slide. And this is the context where we are going to learn many things. We are also going to unlearn many things. And we are also going to learn many things with a new outlook. Before I start, let me give some disclaimer that aim of this talk is promotion and awareness, strengthening ourselves. Home-based intervention is not cure. We should differentiate between these two. This talk, neither the contents of this talk are going to replace the formal medical care. The medicine or diet or anything which is suggested here, those are examples, and audience are expected to use own discretion. And in case of symptom, we have to consult our doctors. But this talk is certainly helpful for avoiding symptoms, for preventing diseases. This human race, not just humans, but the entire planet, including plant species, animals, and we dominant human beings, we are undergoing a very unique situation. And the specialty of our species is we try to overcome the situation. We have an immense resilience capacity that we try to overcome disasters. And hence, even in lockdown, we are unlocking several ideas. And Ayush for COVID 19, that is boosting immunity with home based intervention, is one of the ideas which we are going to discuss this evening. We all are aware of this COVID world map and how the size of each uh, dot is increasing day by day. We have crossed uh, 5 millions of patients today, and so many thousands of deaths. Very challenging situation. This global map is also helping us. Uh, this global map is not just a challenge for geography, but it is challenging every walk of life. After this corona era, the scientists and philosophers of the world, they are also defining new terms like new normal. After this corona pandemic gets over, the world will not be the same again. There will be new normal, change of perspective, and a change of baseline of our living. We have to be ready for future. But when we are walking to the future, this corona era is again helping us understand the ancient proverbs in with its new meaning, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Niyomita. And hence, let us understand meaning of some of the proverbs and how we can apply those for healthy long life. Everyone really aspires for healthy long life. A beautiful verse from Vedas. Pashyema sharadaha shatam, jivema sharadaha shatam, shrunuyama sharadaha shatam, prabhravama sharadaha shatam, adinasyama sharadaha shatam, bhuyascha sharadaha shatat. Let me live for 100 fruitful years. Let my eyes, ears, all those senses, active organs enjoy fully those 100 years of happy, productive life. Let me contribute to society, creating this world a better place. When we have this dream, of course, everybody has, there are a few questions. How we can achieve this healthy long life? And is there any pill? If we get just a pill, then we will be healthy, happier, and live longer. Why we need to spend our so many hours time to such a talk, that what are the home remedies, what are the things which we can strengthen ourselves? Why not there is a pill? Why a pill is not sufficient? And hence, this situation has posed many new questions, many fundamental questions about understanding life, thinking about ourselves, knowing about human environment interaction. Are we encroaching the environment and crossing our limits? This uh, coronavirus infection is also one of the examples of this human and environment interaction. How we can have our health in our hand, how we can manage, how we can prevent disease, how we can promote our health, and uh, address this challenge. And there are very fundamental aspects that any organism is a replica of universe. Yat pinde tad brahmande. Whatever exists in universe, we are a replica. And we share, we interact with our universe in continuum. scientists, they have defined that health is nothing but maintaining a balance, a dynamic balance of internal environment and external environment. When we say that, it is not that simple how to live with the environment, how to be with it. And hence, many philosophies of the world, they are trying to understand how we interact with the environment, how we get affected with it. And hence, we are going to discuss some of the fundamental aspects of us, about environment, and about virus. We know many things about virus. And hence, one of the important proverb which we are going to understand with its new meaning is prevention is better than cure. And seed and the soil. If the soil is congenial, then only the seed can uh, can transform itself into a plant. And this is true for a disease also. Our dynamic Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi ji, has suggested several steps and several measures to prevent disease. And one of his advice is using Ayurveda interventions for an important steps of Saptapadi towards health. He suggested us Kadha Pite Rahiye, the association or consumption of immunomodulator activities of several of our medicinal plants is very important. Now, with this advice, there is a new interest in Ayush systems. Ayush systems, they are traditional systems of healing. They comprise Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, and Sovarikpa systems. They emphasize health promotion and disease management, and they offer simple yet effective interventions. Those interventions, those are individualized but holistic. The interaction between humans and microbes is not new. Although we have started understanding about coronavirus and giving a deep thought about viruses, about pathogens in general. Our body harbors many thousands and millions of microbes. Our Their number is more than our own cells. We are in minority, and our organs, our systems, with the microbes living with us, they make us a complete organism. Most of the microbes, they also help us in our metabolic processes. Can we avoid microbes? The answer is certainly no. But at the same time, we have to build our own immunity, and immunity is not just killing microorganisms. It is not the only health challenge. Microbes are not the only causative agent that leads to imbalance and causes diseases. We have to fight with abnormal cells causing cancer. We have our cells, our immune system has to take care of our metabolic wastes, remove toxins, pollutants, dust, smokes, pesticides, so many of them. Our immune system also has to balance and coordinate many activities, relieve stress, maintaining balance, so many activities our immune system has to perform, and not just killing microbes. Of course, this particular particle has caused a disaster all over the world. We all are aware about it. But this microbe is not the only thing. It is called as an epidemiological triad where an agent, host, and environment, all these three factors, they play an important role. The complex interaction between them defines health or disease. And hence, there are so many factors, our risk factors, our immune response, comorbidities, how much we get exposed to the agent or the virus, what is the ability of that virus to survive, what is the response to treatment, what are the environmental factors around us. This many such factors, they determine uh, whether we are going to get that infection or not. And hence, we also need to think about ourselves and how we can protect ourselves. Yoga provides a deeper understanding about ourselves and prescribes uh, many ways for understanding our own self. It is an inward journey where we try to understand our own swarup, our own nature. What is the state of our mind? How we react? How we process? Can we be a third party or third person and observe all our processes of our body and mind? If we can achieve that, then only we can understand ourselves. This very fundamental concept is helpful when we think about health and diseases. For example, do we know ourselves when we are hungry, when our food gets digested, when we should sleep and when we should get up? Do we have adequate sleep? What are our responses? What are our status of mind, body, senses? Am I grasping properly? Am I processing properly? How is my memory? All those aspects about ourselves, they are important, and yoga is the way to understand about ourselves. Although we may have a lot of resources, but still we cannot outsource our own health. And this is one important message of this pandemic, that we should think about ourselves and take our own health in our hands. It cannot be outsourced all the times. Yes, medicines are important, drugs, therapies, treatment, doctors, drug industry, they are needed, but they are they cannot replace all those thinking about ourselves. You know, this is the timeline of various developments about the field known as immunology. Immunology is the study of immune system. And when we search Wikipedia provides a very comprehensive timeline that starts from 1549 till 2020. Every day or every year, we are understanding new knowledge about epidemiology, about immunology, our immune system. But a profound definition of our immunity was given by Charaka Samhita in more than 3,000 years ago. And that definition is very important, and I'm going to quote that definition. Immunity also deals with prevention of disease and resistance for disease progression. The term immunology or the term immunity is all about disease resistance and an ability of our biological systems to maintain health and balance. Health is maintained till we tolerate the various stressors and adapt ourselves to various stress or various infections and heal ourselves. So this is the concept of immunity from Ayurvedic classics, and various kind of bala or various kind of immune status is described in Ayurveda, and those starts from our genes, the chronobiological aspects, and how we maintain our diet, lifestyle, adapt to various changes in environment, and use certain medicines. Those are immunomodulatory or those are rejuvenating in nature. That defines our immune status. What we should avoid in these corona days? We should avoid any risk factor that leads to respiratory diseases or that increases the proclivity to respiratory problems. For example, increase in kapha and vata, or increase in secretions or inflammation, anything that causes aggravation of kapha and vata, anything that causes uh, our metabolic process, we need to refrain from them. For example, we should avoid cold food and the food which is heavy for digestion, the food that increases secretions, that increases inflammation, or habits those lead to increase in all those kapha and vata. What we should maintain? We should maintain proper digestion, proper nutrition, and proper excretion. Sound, sufficient sleep is very important. Light exercise are important for maintaining our immune system, or that is required for all our body and mind. Mental health, concentration, getting involved in something. It may be our habit, it may be meditation, or it may be hobbies. That also important. Mental health aspects, they are very much important for fighting diseases. Relations of brain and immune system is described by many scholars and many scientists. If our mind is peaceful, then we can have good immune response. And maintaining day night cycle is very important. Like a clock, we have to maintain our biological clock, because many of our body processes, they respond to day night cycle, not just according to time, but according to sunlight and darkness. And hence, our digestive system also is tuned with the cycle of day and night. We have to manage our activities according to this cycle to maintain harmony with environment. This is an example. Our activities, daily activities, and biological clock. If it is synchronized, then only we can have health. If there is the harmony between our activities or our day night cycle and the biological clock, or the environment is disturbed, then that leads to diseases. One of the specialties of Ayurvedic intervention is Ayurvedic intervention or any yoga process that has multi-target effects. For example, a particular botanical that has so many effects and that is helpful for maintaining balance. And once we concentrate on health, drinking water, bath, diet, or food, meditation, and so many things, the entire effect of all those minute day-to-day activities can determine our health status in long run. And hence yogasana, there are various types of exercises. Some exercise that helps us building our endurance, some exercises like weight training that improves our body strength. Exercises, they also increase our flexibility. Exercise also reduces stress. Balance of several such exercises. Again, it is very individualized. We have to find out our own balanced exercise package for ourselves. And I think in such lockdown period, when we have some time for ourselves, we should we should actually try to get such try to experiment ourselves and get such a package for ourselves. Think about it. Another very important verse is if proper diet is followed, then what is need for medicine? And if diet is not proper, what is the use of medicine? And very simple terms, our food or our diet should be balanced, means it should have, say, multicolored recipes. At the same time, our diet should have all six tests, like we have more sweet and pungent tests, sour test, salty, but we should also have astringent and bitter tests. The food items should have a balance of all those tests. Most of the times we eat wrong food, or we don't keep this balance. We just concentrate on our tongue, what we like, but what we always like in taste may not be good for our own tummy. And hence, tongue and tummy, both the things need to be again balanced. We should eat only when we get sensation of hunger. We should eat only till our stomach is less than its full capacity. Ayurveda suggests to consume food and beverages till three-fourth of our stomach capacity. The ancient Japanese, one of the ancient Japanese proverb also suggests to eat 80% of the food of our capacity. Eating lesser than our capacity also helps us live longer. It also makes us energetic and helps proper digestion. Digestion and nutrition, these two terms are often emphasized by Ayurveda. Many times we concentrate on only intake and we feel that only food items those are regarded as healthy. For example, many times dry fruits or many expensive food material, we think that that is healthy, but that is half true. The processing, how we digest them, when we eat such dry fruits or when we eat or when we consume diet, when we take medicine, that has to be processed, means digested, absorbed, assimilated properly. And excretion is also an important aspect. Agnimanya, or reduced digestive capacity, gastric fire, that leads to poor digestion, and that also leads to incompatible material or toxins generated within our body systems. Many times, improper processing also leads to harmful material. Many times, healthy food but consumed at improper time. Healthy food but wrong lifestyle. Healthy food but uh, improper sleep timing also leads to poor digestion, and that also leads to the mm, incompatible toxins like endotoxins generated in our body systems. And hence, there are simple things: check our own tongue, that should not be coated, feel hunger, sensation of hunger, feel the sensation of empty bowel, and feel lightness is important. And considering all those aspects, we need to plan our nutrition, we need to plan our diet. There are a few tips for boosting immunity. Water. Water is an universal solvent, and our body is mostly composed of water. How to drink water, when to consume water, also is also an important topic. We have to consume warm water, particularly for boosting our immunity. Warm water also leads to proper digestion. Many times when we consume heavy food, or food containing fat, or food protein rich food, then warm water helps for digestion. Water treated with some spices or some of the herbs is very important, such as dried ginger or sunti, cardamom, cinnamon, clove, nutgrass, khus or vada, Indian sarsaparilla, coriander, fennel, acacia, and so many things. Many times we also need to consider the hot and cold cooling properties of those herbs. The water, say 1 liter water treated with a spoonful of these spices will be very helpful. This actually forms a very dilute decoction, or we call it as Siddha Jala or medicated water. Such a medicated water is helpful for boosting our immunity. We can also change composition of those spices. There are a few dietary tips for boosting immunity. For example, milk, turmeric, and ghee. This is golden milk composition. But if we add a spoonful of ghee to this combination, that is very helpful for preventing many diseases. It is also helpful for elderly, those who have some problems of digestion and constipation. Plenty water uh, treated with khus or coriander seed and jeera combination, that is also helpful. We can carry such a water bottle with us, and that will be helpful for quenching our thirst. Also, that will gives a protection against sore throat or cough. Light and fresh food with minimum spices and minimum oil, that is again very helpful. I talked about diet with all 6 tests represented. Yogasana or breathing exercises and meditation every day for 30 minutes are very important. Most of the times, our activities, they also determine our health status, and hence we should have like balanced diet, balanced activities. Balanced activities in terms of our daily routine, what type of routine we undergo, what is our nature of our job, how much time we sit, how much time we bend, how much time we stand, walk. All those things need to be considered, and an exercise package which will balanced, or which will also provide an opposite actions, they also need to be considered when we exercise. Ayurveda tips for boosting immunity also includes mouth rinse and gargles. Warm liquid and oils, they can be used as gargles or mouth rinses. And some of the medicated, some of the herbs that we can use for gargling. For example, Triphala, a combination of Hirda, Beheda, and Avala, or Terminalia chebula, Terminalia belerica, and Phalanthus emblica. They are important. A gargling with such a Triphala decoction is also helpful for preventing oral ulcers, that also strengthens our teeth and improve the immunity of our mucus, oral mucosa. Oil, 2 to 3 spoons of coconut oil, sesame oil, can be used as gargle or mouth rinse. We have to keep that oil and uh, do the gargles, and the contact of our oral mucosa and that oil should be at least for 5 minutes, and we can clean our mouth and uh, throat with such decoction or oil at least twice a day. That gives us a good protection. Application of medicated oil, ghee, or vegetable oils such as sesame oil or coconut oil in nostrils, that is also helpful for uh, providing a coating that gives a protection from so many uh, particles, including pollution and several other pathogens that also forms coat over our nasal mucosa. Steam inhalation or hot fermentation with aromatic oils such as menthol, thymol, they also provide a very good clinical relief in nasal or throat congestion, and they also are also helpful in conditions like sore throat, mild cough, running nose. This steam inhalation is helpful. Panchakarma are the procedures those are mean for balancing our three doshas. Those are cleansing or purifying procedures of body, and that removes many toxins or unwanted material. And the increasing the research on this panchakarma is also suggesting that they are improving many of our immune parameters. Panchakarma are helpful for preventing or promoting health. Also, they offer treatment for many diseases. They are also have they provide many immune boosting effects and strengthen mucosal barriers of our body. For example, the Panchakarma procedures like daily massage that provides not just an oily coat, but that is also nourishing for body and mind. Nasal application or several mm, other Panchakarma procedures like Vaman, Virechan, Vasti, they are helpful for boosting immunity, but they need to be uh, used under the medical guidance or under the guidance of a qualified Ayurvedic physician. There are several immunomodulatory herbs around us, and we are understanding their benefits with its in the new context. Vidania somnifera or ashwagandha, Tinospora cordifolia or Gulvel kuduchi, Asparagus racemosus, Phalanthus emblica or Amalaki, Glyceriza glabra or Madhuyashti or Mulethi, sesame seeds. There is so many plants around us. They are helpful for providing immunity, and there are several combinations like Chavanprash, like various powders, Savidania powder consumed with milk, or decoction of Kuduchi or Tinospora, Shatavari powder taken with milk, Amalaki powder or Amla powder with honey or with ghee, licorice or Yashtimadu powder either with milk or with cow ghee is helpful for boosting immunity. Formulations like Chavanprash, they are also very important for nourishing our body tissues. Diet is a medicine, and our Indian diet uh, has abundant use of several spices, but we also use those spices carefully. Sometimes uh, we use a typical combination. For example, combination of coriander and grated coconut is helpful for addressing aggravated pitta because it has cooling properties. A combination of, say, ginger and garlic, ginger garlic paste is used for such a food which is heavy to digest. There is a lot of wisdom in ancient food practices, and we can also take many projects in this lockdown period to document the ancient culinary practices, ancient food material, and its health benefit. Exploring logic of our traditional food practice is could be a very good project. I just discussed the body massage that that's helpful not just for skin but muscles, and that improves our immunity. When we do powder massage or udvartan or ubtan or utane, that utane also provides a good uh, protection, and it also channelizes various nervous pathways and gives benefit of the exercise. That's people, the scientists, they have studied the what happens with abhyanga snan, means a bath a bath followed by oil application and with a powder massage or udvartan or uptan, that gives a very different feeling of lightness and feeling of freshness, and thus This particular Pinkasnan is also very much important, and we should actually follow every week. I said about applying oils in nasal mucosa, oral mucosa, then certain medicated ghee or oils, they are also prescribed. They can also be prescribed for eye mucosa. Uh, we use oils in form of kajal or kajal. So that kajali, that can be also practiced, but of course that should have an authentic preparation. Steam bath with hot water and herbal oils, or with some of the medicinal plants, that also is very helpful. Thus, we have coronavirus around us, but we can think about ourselves and think about some of the environmental factors, and the virus is attacking us, but we can also use some of the preventive measures to improve our immune status and have a protective shield. That shield will be provided by our own actions, our own thoughts, and our own behavior. And this Ayurvedic understanding or understanding of these Ayush systems like Ayurveda, Yoga, it is not just a pill or not just a list which we find on thousands of websites on the net, but it is all about tuning ourselves with the external environment, nature, modify our own habits, our own lifestyle, diet, thinking. This particular protection, the foundation of immunity, is not just some cells tracing or chasing some microbes and killing them. It is not like a video game. The immunity is an inherent capacity of our body tissues to resist diseases, to adapt stress, to increase our limit of adaptation when stressors affect us. And hence, immunity is making our systems resilient, making our systems sensitive yet robust. And that can be achieved with so many things. Yes, we have a challenge of coronavirus disease, and more than 5 million, uh, more than 5 million patients are being treated all over the world, and uh, thousands of them they succumb to the disease. But our own most of the people, they have corona phobia, and hence people suffering from corona phobia, they are more in number than actual corona patients or COVID patients. And hence, at everywhere, if we try to find the risk and make our life miserable, then we may get protected from corona, but we will we will be patient of, say, anxiety neurosis or depression. We have to protect ourselves from all the diseases and experience or enjoy health and happiness. And hence, the protection against disease in terms of social distancing, in terms of hygiene, in terms of avoiding risk is important. The protection in terms of building our immunity is also important. And the protection from the fear is also important. Everybody, every living person has successfully treated many infections in his or her life successfully with our own immune system. Our body has a tremendous capacity. Many times we undermine that capacity and search for drugs as our only resort. But all those aspects which we just discussed for last few minutes, they are important for building our body systems and improving our immune status. Everybody uh, need not to we should be refraining from this fear, unnecessary fear of this coronavirus, because the unnecessary fear or stress that also leads to reduction in our immune response. Again, all the tips which I suggested, they can be very personalized. Not everything will be suitable for every person, and hence we need to try or we need to experiment ourselves to find out what is suitable for me, what is my nature, what are my responses to various dietary and lifestyle modifications, what do I tolerate, why I cannot. And all those thinking is important for taking our health in our own hands. We should be observant, we should experiment on ourselves, we should experience so many things and try to know who am I, what is suitable for me, what is not suitable for me, what is beneficial and what is harmful for me. And friends, this is the definition of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is nothing but an approach, and that approach suggests us to think about ourselves. Yoga is nothing but connecting ourselves with a, a bigger system around us, that is environment. Yoga is nothing but a balancing mind, body, senses and our spirit. And with this message, I think we all are going to be healthier, happier with this simple but effective tips. I will also suggest small projects. Our body and mind is a wonderful laboratory, and our thoughts, they can lead us to several experiments. What do we know about our surroundings, flora and fauna? What are our traditional dietary practices? What are the medicines in our kitchen? What is my nature? What I can tolerate? What I am susceptible to? What troubles me? What suits me? What is helpful for me? There are so many projects we can undertake. We can document on ourselves and know ourselves better. This challenge of COVID pandemic had made our species really stronger, dynamic. We are finding ways to circumvent the obstacles. We are finding newer solutions. Even our children, they are a child of first, second standard is struggling with technology and studying with YouTube and uh, video conferencing applications. Adaptation and progress are the important characteristics of our species, and uh, let us understand and practice all those aspects. Many times illness and wellness, they depend on our attitude towards the world. And hence a beautiful verse from Vedas, it suggests Dyauhu Shantihi, Antarikshagum Shantihi, Prithivihi Shantihi, Apaha Shantihi, Oshadayaha Shantihi, Vanaspatayaha Shantihi, Vishve Devaha Shantihi, Brahma Shantihi, Sarva Shantihi, Shantireva Shantihi, Sama Shantirevi. We are we should try for world peace and the concept emerging at global level is One Health. Not just human beings, but the entire flora and fauna. They are our responsibility, being the most intelligent species, or most so-called intelligent species on this planet. And hence, let us try hard for health and well-being of us, and not just our own health, but what we are going to do with our own health. And hence, let us think about uh, other challenges. Let us think about how I can contribute and how I can make this world better, how I can contribute with all my skills, capabilities to post corona crisis, how I can make my contributions after this post corona new normal situation. And hence, thinking about our own health is a very preliminary idea, but about with our better health, our contribution to the future, our contribution to this world, for making this world healthier, happier, as mentioned in another verse, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramayah, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. With this pledge, with this goal, let us move further. And again, I'm coming to this disclaimer: this entire tips are for prevention. We have to experiment on ourselves, but we should have a bearing of practical situation. This lecture was not for treatment. We can take our own health in our hands, but don't take disease in our own hand. Let doctors manage our diseases. In case of symptoms, please consult doctors. This lecture or this session was not possible because of Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Samiti's GN Khalsa College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Mumbai, um, and the enthusiastic uh, faculty of this college. Thank you, Dr. Niyomita. I work in AYUSH Center of Excellence, Savitribai Phule Pune University, and I thank my own institution. I thank Dr. Manoj Bhatt, Director from National Center for Cell Sciences, Pune. He was instrumental for this session. Thank you, sir. Uh, I also thank Miramai Project and our roots. These are the our root is the organization, and that has started Miramai Project for propagation of this health wisdom. Thank you very much. I also thank uh, Wikipedia for some of the material which I used in my slides. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for this overwhelming, enlightening session. We have sent you the questions in your email. So kindly check. Please check whether you have received all the questions in your email. Mr. Aldrin has sent it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir,
Yes.
for the wonderful session. I'm sure all of us can now take the appropriate measures to stay healthy with an enhanced immunity. Um, all the participants who are requesting for the presentation and recording of the webinar can view the entire webinar on our college YouTube channel. Also, they can even subscribe the channel. Now I request sir for the question answer session.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
So some of the questions they are on some of the questions are about um, use of arsenic album or use of some of the homeopathic uh, recipes, which I will not be able to answer because that is not my uh, experience. Okay, so somebody asked what should be our diet, and I think I have covered that aspect of how should be our diet. Our diet should be easy to digest. That should be fresh. That should have all the taste, use of appropriate spices. Too much spices also can lead to problems like hyperacidity, and we need to really balance and you really use in appropriate quantity. Okay, so some things said that yes, everything will be so much positive. No need of any medicine. Breastfeed children are also infected. Why? So yes, also we talked about building our systems and maintaining health. This is a continuous war between our own system and external environment. It's not about coronavirus, but since many say decades or many centuries, we are fighting against so many bacteria, so many diseases, tuberculosis, so many infections. And if those microbes they, uh, they really cause severe disease, then we we need to take help of medicine and the treatments. But this is a continuous war. But what is in our hand is building our own health up to the uh, optimum level that we can do. And of course, we can prevent ourselves from diseases. Can we control or prevent tonsillitis in Ayurveda? Yes, we can control and prevent tonsillitis. And as I said, tonsillitis, pharyngitis, or sore throat, what we call, that can be controlled with
Hello,
gargle
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
and uh, with some of the easy solutions, like I said, using licorice and honey, or clove and clove powder and honey, or black pepper with honey. There are very simple, easy home recipes that can be used in such conditions for prevention as well as home-based management. Can everyone take turmeric milk? Yes, everyone can take turmeric milk, but observe yourself and decide the quantity and timing. Somebody suggested, can you please give reference on how aforementioned plants they boost our immunity? Yes, those references can be found on PubMed or Scopus. Please search yourself, and you will find a lot of literature on those plants and a lot of articles with keywords COVID and Ayurveda, COVID and yoga, and you will also find. But just don't get restricted to COVID. Search a lot of other articles with other keywords. Can a person with diabetes take avla powder? Yes, avla and haldi in equal quantity, avla and turmeric in equal quantity is helpful for managing or preventing so many things, so many other complications in diabetes patient. But it is not a topic about today's discussion. But that is generally helpful measure for diabetes and people suffering from metabolic diseases like obesity, lipidemia, and other diseases. Is there any Ayurvedic medicine to cure asthma? Yes, there are Ayurvedic medicines to cure or to treat Ayurveda, but medicine or medical management is not. We are not going to discuss this today. Can I take turmeric milk every to my 12 months daughter? This is very interesting question. And we have to protect our kids, but um, uh, for 20 months old daughter, you can really plan many things innovatively, which should be tolerable, palatable for your daughter, and hence make her diet a very interesting way, so that the benefits of those medicines, of those herbs, can uh, reach her. You can give turmeric with honey or turmeric with any jam to your daughter. That should be, we should use those things very innovatively. Then only our kids can really benefit with it. Use of day-to-day vegetables, use of soups, say green gram soup, or soup of various dal with some use of say seasoning or tadka. That can again a very interesting recipe. Some soups with some say lentils and vegetable mixed soup is also very helpful. Thus we need to really innovate. There is a lot of scope of innovation when we deal with, when we use such traditional recipes. So there is a lot of scope for our creativity and innovation. We need to really do some experiments. What are quantity of spices of herbs to be added in warm water? Yes, so I said 5 gram of spices, 5 gram of spices in 1 liter of water. Please boil water with just 5 gram of spices, or a teaspoon full of spices, and at this just point, just boil water and let it cool, and drink that warm water. What is medicated ghee or medicated oil? Sometimes ghee or oil, they are treated with herbs or herb decoctions or juices, till the juices or decoctions they are evaporated, and the remaining oil or ghee is called as medicated ghee or medicated oil. Another question: although 80% of modern medicine made up of plants and natural resources, which AYUSH system is based on, then why WHO not taking cognizance of it? Yes, WHO has taken its cognizance, and say WHO is promoting traditional medicines. The first policy came up in 2002, and WHO advised all the member states to develop traditional medicine policy of every country, and India also has developed that policy. Another policy came in 2014, and yes, people are practicing, but the whole concept, again, we cannot bank on an external agency. We have to really use our wisdom, creativity, and try to use those in our own day-to-day life. Um, can spices cause rise in body temperature in such summer? Yes, that is very important question by Mr. Arbaz Sheikh. Thank you, Arbaz, for this question. Yes, some of the spices, they can lead to increase in body temperature, increase in acidity, and hence that has to be used in appropriate quantity and appropriate combination. For example, when we cook rice with so many spices, we use a combination of grated coconut and, as I said, coriander leaves. That gives a little cooling property with this spices. The combination of spices, like using uh, cinnamon and cardamom together, that both are cinnamon is hot and cardamom is cooling. So such combinations we need to do. For example, coriander seeds and fennel seeds, those are also could be used, but everything should be in quantity. Don't say just focus and only use spices. They can also cause harm. Anything in excess than required can causes harm, including Ayurvedic medicines. So please use everything in appropriate quantity. How many number of hours of sleep is considered to be sufficient, that and good for a student? Yes, the one who uses brain needs a good sleep, but everybody has own requirements, so we should experiment. Kindly suggest a book what is having all daily useful plants or herbal medicine. Yes, there are many such books that we can really uh, go through and read. Does Ayurveda define term virus, and how any shlok for that? That is a very important question. Very good. Ayurveda don't define the virus, bacteria, fungus precisely, but Ayurveda also describe. There are many verses that say that many microorganisms they are responsible for diseases. But as I said, not just microorganisms; they are everywhere. They are part of our body too. But Ayurveda gives more emphasis on strengthening our body systems, and that is really discussed in detail in many of the shlok. But yes, there are references of microorganisms, and the first sterilization or disinfection is mentioned by Sushruta. And here I must say, as I said, the first definition of immunity has been given by Charak Samhita, and the first detailed description of epidemics is also a contribution of Charaka Samhita, which described in a chapter, special chapter in Charak Samhita called as Janapadodvamsa Adhyay. Janapad means a locality or a populated place. Udvams is a disaster. So that is also discussed in detail. Then can we use Gulwell in increased immunity power? Yes, we can use Gulwell for increasing immunity power. How can people belonging to Pitta Prakriti boost their immunity as they cannot take much spices? This is brilliant question by Aishwarya Sakare. So Aishwarya, the Pitta Prakriti people, they should use those spices combination with either milk or cow ghee or buttermilk, so that that won't harm them. Raj Bahadur Singh has asked so many questions. What? Why? The intention of this question? Why? People in say earlier age they have better immunity than whatever. But that may be age benefit. Mr. Raj Bahadur Singh, kindly suggest few tips for kid, and what if they don't like to consume clove, coriander seeds in paper, etc. because of test. It is, if it is not possible, then name some medicines which would boost immunity. Okay, I think
So actually, we are out of time now. I mean, you have already
okay,
been answering since last 10 minutes. So maybe another two,
okay.
three questions.
Thank you very. Okay,
Well,
so I will just complete this question. The Hippocrates once said that the best medicine is advice through ears, and hence convincing people, telling the benefits, especially for kids, is very important. If you convince your kids will also consume or accept whatever we tell them. So it is just a matter of convincing. Thank you very much for this lively session. Thank you, madam.
so can I ask you one question?
Please, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah. So I just want to
Yes,
know
ma'am.
about Viruddha Ahar, because only in Ayurveda you find Viruddha Ahar. It's not listed in modern medicine or anywhere. So many of us, like, we generally have shakes, milk shakes and all, which is actually, some of them say it's not right, milk with fruit. So can you just elaborate, sir? Because I think many of us are not aware of the Viruddha Ahar.
Uh, Thank you for this question, and this is very important question. I also touched on this concept that is many times a combination of two or more healthy items cannot always healthy. For example, milk and fruits. For example, milk and sour substances. So such combination which is incompatible and that causes harm to our tissues, it is termed as viruddha ahar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hello. Palvi, can you just proceed with vote of thanks?
Dear participants, the feedback form link is posted in the chat box. The link will remain open till 11 p.m. Kindly fill the feedback form. Also note that only the registered participants who fills the feedback form will receive the certificate of participation. Now I request Ms. Palvi Kamath to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ketki. According to St. Ambrose, no duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. Hence, I am delighted to deliver the vote of thanks this evening. On behalf of the Department of MSc Bioanalytical Sciences, Guru Nanak Khalsa College, I sincerely thank Dr. Girish Tillu for instilling our faith in the traditional systems of medicine. Thank you, sir, for guiding us in how best we can make use of home remedies as preventive and not as curative measures for maintaining our health and boosting our immunity. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and addressing this August gathering in the virtual world. I thank Dr. Kiran Mangaonkar, our principal, and Dr. Devinder Kaur Bhasin Madam, our vice principal, for their constant support and encouragement. I thank Dr. Naumita Dhume, our HOD, for being the guiding light as always. This webinar wouldn't have been possible without your able guidance, ma'am. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheel starts rolling weeks ago. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very proactive and dedicated staff, Ms. Ketki Dalal and Ms. Maria Nader, who have given their best to make this event successful. I genuinely appreciate the efforts taken by our technical arrangement team, Mr. Sham, Mr. Aldrin, and Mr. Ashish. Last but definitely not the least, I thank all the participants for attending this webinar in such large numbers. We are overwhelmed. I would end by saying that in the new normal, let's think positive, eat right, and keep hope because he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir, and thank you all participants.
We
Could you
declare
just,
the session closed.
yeah, and before that, you can just put up the next webinar, let participants know uh, regarding the next webinar, which is scheduled on 22nd. Thank you.